totally new venue for me today, and it's live match time. Right, I've been told I need 160 to win here. Let's see what happens. The amount of bites I'm getting is ridiculous. Good morning everyone, you join me at the lovely, first time I've ever seen the place, Meadow Farm Cottages up in Norwich. Here for a live match today, been thrown in at the deep end, like I say, I've never seen the place. Hear really good things. I've drawn peg 6 on willows, which looks really nice just on the end of the island there. We've got an hour or so to get set up, so I'm going to quickly go around and get set up and then we'll talk you through what we're going to do. Can't wait to get fishing here. Right, so we've drawn peg 6 today. Facebook famous phrase, but it means absolutely nothing to me because I've never seen the place. Looks absolutely lovely. If you can see over my shoulder now, sort of on a little point looking out, I've got an island to fish to at 12 metres. Everyone said the edges are quite deep here, but to my right I've got 20 inches, a lovely shallow edge, so I'm going to focus on those two. Hard pellets, just pinging 4 mils across to the island. There's a lot of F1s. Set up a few shallow rigs at various depths, and a deck rig there, it's about 3 foot. I've set up an edge rig, as I say, rig for fishing short early on with hard 6 mils, try and catch a couple of carp. And the only other line I've got is, again, at like 12-13 metres out into the open water. I had a chat with Jack Demant, who fishes here a lot, and he said for catching an odd carp during the day, like just putting some casters in open water out the way, just dumping a few in and fishing over it. So that's what I'm going to do there. Casters, there's a bit of a shortage and I'm trying to save what I've got, so I've literally got a couple of pints out. I've got a bit of hemp to mix in with it. It's just something I could cup in and out of a bed just to drop on for an odd big carp. There's loads of options there. If you can see behind me, there's lily pads if I can reach fish long round to my left. There's another edge there, he's deeper. I don't want to confuse myself. I want to try and work out what's going on in my peg on a few lines and take it from there. It's a confusing looking peg, the locals say anyway. They say it's not always in. And I don't want to confuse myself anymore because I don't know what's going to happen when I start fishing. So just trying to make it really simple for myself, and I'll talk you through if I feel I need to change something or if something's not right as the match goes on. Just going to stick to what I know to start with and take it from there. So we've got 10 minutes before we start, so I'm going to go around and get on the box. We're going to get mic'd up and we'll talk you through our day. Hopefully catch loads of fish. Right, well the match should be started. Here we go, that's the whistle just gone now. I'm going to start short with pellets, let's say 6 mils, just see what's going on. I'm going to fire some pellets straight on that island. Build that up. I expect that to be my main line early on in the match, but I've been told there's some big carp in here. I'm just going to start short, just have a look, see what's going on, because let's say I don't know the venue at all, so I'm only fishing, well, a short kit and a short 4 in one section, so not very far at all. Just a few 6 mils. Just feel my way in a little bit, but I'm not expecting to do this for long. I just want to build up that island. Hopefully get a quick bite or two here. Oh, and there was one. Just move that back out of the way. Missed the bite straight away, so that's a good sign. There's a bit of everything in here, lots of silvers and big carp and loads of F1s. So another sign there, but they might be small fish. I have just seen something bow wave off there. Spoke to everyone before the start and it's like they all said it's sort of 5 foot deep, but I've got nowhere near that here. It's quite a shallow peg. Might work in our favour with how warm it is. Yeah, another missed bite there. I think they're initially small fish, but lots of indications already, but I think that's going to be half the battle, working out what the right fish are to start with. Oh, we're into something. I would say it's an F1. No, small carp. Peg's already fizzing like hell, and I've probably thrown 15 pellets there, so they're obviously responding to a bit of bait early on, which is good. I'm not expecting to be on this for too long. Always like to just start short. There's normally an odd fish milling around. So many dips and on the float. I think a lot of them are small fish, but I've got a few 8mm pellets I could perhaps put on the hook. Oh, we're into another one. We were. Got on them in nets again. Don't quite know how heavy to be fishing at the moment. Started reasonably, not too light. 0.16 bottom, 14 to 16 slip, slick even. Didn't feel like a massive fish, and sometimes they're the worst for just running around. It's just gone behind my nets and broke my hook length. But again, it's just a complete feel in the way in job today. Not knowing the venue. Another fish straight away. Lots of bites. Little F1. Just having to check where that F1 goes. They're not very big. Some venues, the little fish go in your carp nets. So we're getting some bites early on, that's nice. But all the while priming up to that island. Really want to catch shallow if it's F1s. There we are, into another one. That one was foul hooked. A lot of fizzing when you hook a fish, so the bottom is clearly quite silty, but I had a plumb around it, sort of felt the same everywhere. So. Lots of that fed this time when my float was in the water, and getting a lot of liners around it. So starting to tell me they are going to come up in the water, which is ideal, especially for the F1s. So it's far easier to catch them shallow. Looking around, no one's exactly setting the world alight. Everyone's had a couple of smaller fish. A few fish being foul hooked as well. Guy across from me in my eye line's just lost one. So fishing on the deck maybe isn't the way to go. Give this another 5 minutes or so, and then I think I'll be out straight to that island. I've got no doubt there'll already be some fish there. It's quite interesting, that island, there are pegs on there, but they don't peg them in these matches apparently, so I've got that to fish to. So it's all just feeling my way in because I've got no idea really what I'm fishing for. So just regularly pinging a few 4mm, not many. Don't want to be putting loads in, I want to be bringing the fish up. So there's lots of fizz in there now, but not actually a lot of bites. So I'm going to give it this chuck and then moving out to that island. It's not to say I won't come back in on this later in the day, but with the way it's fizzing, I won't feed it until I feel if I do need to go on it. I just missed a bite then. Much quicker bite. Maybe that was a bigger carp coming in. Oh, there we are, we've got one there. Not a big fish again. Another little carp. I didn't really know about these. I got told there's lots of F1s and then some big carp. But that's another pound fish. But it is another fish, so we'll just carry on with it for a minute. The longer I could build that shallow line up, the better. I've already seen a couple of signs of this fish over there, so no one's really catching a huge amount. So if I can just keep a few more of these going in the net while I build that up, get it as strong as it can be, all the better for me. So just touch on the rig while we're on it, because I don't think I'm going to be on there much longer. So I'll fish short kits on everything, with 14 to 16 slick in this one, 020 main line, 016 bottom, 16 MXC3. I've got another little fish on then. It's just a 0.4 one of our slim carbon floats. See, that's another little stocky carp. Just a bulk and 2 droppers. Nothing fancy at all. I like to start with a bit heavier float just because you get a few fish in the peg early on. Just keeps the rigs nice and stable. I'll talk you through the other rigs as we go on a little bit. I've been fishing 15 minutes now and I've got 5 pounds, so it's certainly not setting the world alight, but in the scheme of things, the anglers I can see, that's not a bad start. They're all catching these little fish as well, so let's see if I can get a couple more there. Do feel like we could catch better shallow. I'm just hoping for a couple of these big fish. They do go over into double figures on here. I was hoping like a couple of better fish short early, but if I haven't had one by now, I don't feel they're going to come here now. So probably give it another 5 minutes here. Got another small fish. Yeah, an F1 about a pound, maybe just over. Got to be careful with my nets. It is a strict 40 pounder net limit here, so I certainly don't want to be going over. So I'm just being guided by what other people are catching at the moment, and it doesn't seem to be a huge amount, so this one just swelled in my shallow feed over there, so definitely keen to get over there soon. I think I'm going to have one more here and go out. Don't like to, when you're getting bites, to come off them, but I've been looking at the weights that have been caught in matches, and you're looking about 160 to win. So I'm not going to catch this at this pace. I know the match will get better as the day goes on, but get the feeling that'll just be quicker. Don't necessarily think it's going to be bigger fish. A bit further away from myself and against that island, hopefully get them competing a bit more. Just be a bit quicker. With the size of these, I think it's just going to be about just regularly putting them in the net, and while I'm getting bites here, you're missing a few and it doesn't feel quite right. So there's another one, but again small fish. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this one in hopefully and go across. Another little F1, or is it a little tiny carp again? Yeah, a little stocky carp. That one is actually foul, look. So difficult to click them ones as well. It's not quite a pound, but lovely little fish. But let's put that down. I've got 4 shallow rigs set up at various depths. I'm going to start sort of just over 12 inches, 13 inches. See what goes on from there. Again, if I'm catching these little carp, I've set up F1 sort of elastics, 10 to 12 slit. Might be better just stepping up a grade if there's lots of them little carp. Even though they're not big, they do sort of run you around a little bit. Bite straight away. A bit keen when we catapult that time. Oh, another one. Might have to pick my shallow rig straight up, the shallowest rig straight up. A couple of indications straight away, that's a good sign. Already it feels like I need to be on my shallowest rig. Started with just a 6mm on the hook. Again, just see what's going on out there. A lot of missed bites when I feed, so I think I'll be picking my little shallowest rig up. There's a swirl there. There's lots of fish there. Only got a short line on there, so they should really be hooking themselves. Missing a lot of bites. I'm going to try and come back with something on this rig quick, but when I do go back out, it'll be on the shallowest rig. Must be a lot of fish there to come that shallow straight away. They generally come shallow with the more competition they've got, fighting each other for the pellets. So. So many missed bites. Gonna have to get on that shallow rig in a sec, whatever, I think. There we are, we're into the first one shallow. What are you? Another little carp. So, wasn't expecting these. Lovely little fish, but probably 12 ounces a piece. It'll be a busy day to catch a weight of those. Just get on that shallower rig already. This one's just a dibber, and this is sort of 10, 11 inches deep, 12 inches deep with a float. Get the feeling this is going to be better. Yeah, I've literally slapped it in and the elastics come straight out. Just fishing a little bit deep. That one's actually an hide. I need a separate net for them. Goodness. They probably weigh as much as the carp. This venue is known for its hide. The only problem I've got here is the bush behind me on my landing net handle. I might just stop fishing in a minute and get a shorter landing net handle out, because I'm struggling to put the fish in my net, and everyone's got to be put in with a net. I've just got a bit of undergrowth for now. I'm sat on a point, so I might just do that in a second. This is what I was saying though, like it's much quicker getting a bite now than on the bottom, so I think some of them are missing an odd indication. I think they must be eyed though. So I'm fishing short lines. Normally in the F1s hook themselves. But I thought that short line rig was going to be the answer, but I caught that eyed straight away and then nothing. No, I'm going to just pick that slightly deeper one up again. It doesn't seem right to me. Just feed a few pellets short, just in case I have to drop back on that in a minute, because this isn't, I can't say this is 100% right at the moment. Just try and feed in some pellets first. Definitely felt like they were more confident when I first went out there where I'd been feeding it. So maybe they just don't like being under the pole yet. Oh, I see a deeper rig and it's gone straight under again. Just shows you that's only sort of 5 inches deeper, 4 or 5 inches deeper, but feels like a better fish, this one as well. There, what we want. Bigger F1. That's a 2 pound fish. That's the best fish in the day. Definitely seemed to work better feeding before I went on to it, and as soon as I slapped it in, the elastic ripped out. So maybe it is very, it's been so hot, it's not quite as hot today, but still very bright and still by that island where I'm fishing. So maybe feeding and just getting them there before the poles over their head is going to be better. Well, that's a better fish again. This is much better. They are just sat that little bit deeper. Not sure this one's in the mouth in all honesty, but just a tiny bit. Say this is F1 fishing all over. Like 3 or 4 inches depth. I've had it where like 1 inch depth. Like you're not getting a sign, and you literally slide the float down 2 inches deeper, and there's loads of fish there. Depth is everything with these fish. That one's a carp again. And it is foul up just under the wing, but I think maybe just sliding this rig down, as I say, just a couple of inches. That shallower rig wasn't right, but this one might just be a touch too deep. Missed bite straight away on the slat though. But then once you've gone out and you haven't caught that one instantly, you sit and wait. Makes me think they don't really want to come under the pole. They're definitely getting an odd sign there, and they are that little bit further up in the water. But I think what I'm going to do, instead of picking my shallow reach rig up, just lengthen the line on this, because they don't seem to. I don't feel like they're very happy coming underneath the pole at the moment. A few missed indications. I've definitely sat that bit shallower. I'm just going to whiz that back. Just fish a slightly longer line. I know it isn't quite as good when you're fishing for F1s. That short line is the ideal scenario, but you've got to do what the fish are telling you, and I feel I've just slid it up 3 inches. It just means I can keep, I'm a bit shallow, and I can keep that pole just a touch further away from them. Still missing bites. I don't know whether they're eyed. That one's not an eyed. Again, a little stocky carp. Nice fish, but lovely little fish, pearlescent. They don't weigh a lot. I'd rather catch a 2 pound F1. It comes in slightly quicker, and I think you've got all manners of species in front of you, and I don't really know the way of selecting them at the moment. Straight into another one though. That slightly longer line is far better. Is this a better one? It's a much bigger swirl, so much better fish of some sort. I think it's a carp again. That's the bigger one. Oh, really big F1. No, it's a proper carp. Much better fish though. It's 3 or 4 pound, that one. Might even be 5. Certainly no shortage of bites. It's a lovely little venue. Just rolled over my line. I've got to be careful here. I'm fishing lighter gear on here. talk you through the rig, I suppose, while I'm playing this. 10 to 12 slick. So 20 to an 014 and a 16 MXC6 and just one of our F1 shallow floats. Just 3 number 10s above a 3-inch hook length, dead simple. I have actually got a back shot on there as well, which I find help when you're fishing a short line, just helps. Now I've slid the float down, it's a bit redundant. I don't need it because I'm trying to keep the pole away from the fish anyway, but when I've got like a 6-inch lash, that just halfway down, that keeps it mega tight. Never got much better fish, 4 pound that one. Want a few of them. Stop feeding that short line now. I don't feel like that's going to do it any good. Putting a lot, keep building it up. There's obviously loads of mouths to feed here, and they'll come to a bait. I might not even ever go back on that because I'm hopefully just do this, and I'm going to big cup at some stage in the open water for some carp, and then fish down the edge for some carp. So at the moment, there's enough fish coming to this to make me think I can just get my head down on this. But we all know how fishing changes. Lots of indications that a touch longer line is much better. Still missing a few for my liking, but I think with the size of some of them little fish, that is, they could be the culprits. Maybe fishing a 4mm on the hook would be better. Might change to that in a minute. Noticeable, all your bites come on the slap. They're really on the noise. I might just try on the deck in a minute out there to see if there's some better fish sat beneath them, because I'm not achieving a lot here at the moment all of a sudden again. Phrase I've used many times, but a bit of a busy idiot at the moment. Oh, there's a carp just swelled off there. Just going to shallow this rig up again. I had a couple of fish swirl off there. Just keep that pole even further away from them. Frustrating at the moment because there's so many bites, but they're not the right fish. And a few swirl off there. That's gone this time with that longer one. A bit shallower. Definitely think that's key at the moment with it being so flat out there. Get another little carp. Great, but they're not the F1s we were hoping for. F1s are just a bit better to land on this gear, and you can line them up a little bit better, I always feel. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. What are we? 50 minutes in and I've got getting on for £20. You're going to catch £100 at that rate. Hopefully we have some better runs and so catch some carp on my carp lines later on. You could get your 160. It's not a lot, but I can only see this, the two anglers in this top bowl where I am they've not caught a lot yet, so my cameraman said Jim behind me. Jim Barrowman, brilliant angler from out this way, has been for years. He's catching a few. He's got one on now. They've got some ripple there. He's catching on a jigger. Maybe them F1s just want to be sat in the wind. It's often the case. There's nothing sort of, even though I'm really shallow, there's nothing spooking off when I miss them bites. It's just making me feel like there's a load of little fish sat just pestering me at the moment. You just got to wait like that for a better one to come in the peg. Again, carp, little carp. Right, so we're an hour in. Bit frustrating at the moment. That was a better F1 just then, but I've only had 2 decent F1s and that 1 decent carp. It's the peg just seems to be full of little tiny carp at the moment. It's just a case of going through the motions. They are catching better behind me, some more F1s I think, and they're a good stamp. Like I say, the wind in that bowl behind, they've got the wind there, which F1s always seem to follow the wind. But, getting lots of bites, but just feels like it's completely the wrong fish at the moment. The other 2 anglers in this top bowl where we're out the wind, they've not caught a lot at all. So I'm doing all right. It's hard to judge, but I'm catching little 12-ounce and pound carp, which doesn't quite feel like it's going to get me over the line. They're not big enough at the moment. I'm gonna just go through the motions here for now, but yeah, a lot of small fish, quite a few missed bites. They are tiny, some of these fish. I'm not going to give it too much longer before I feed some hempen casters on that big cup line out the way. I need to catch some better fish, I feel, at the moment. Isn't enough F1s here to do what I want to do. This odd one's coming sucking now, so might pick me really shallow rig up with a short line and just hold it tight to the bank. There do seem to be a few more coming in now, but it just doesn't feel like I'm competing with the blokes behind from what I can see, but it's very difficult. So you only look behind every now and again, and if you look behind you and they've got one on, you think they're bagging, and perhaps they're not. Definitely doesn't feel like I've got the right stamp fish here at the moment. And these little tiny carp are proving a real pain. They're not very keen on coming under a short line, but you miss quite a few bites with a longer line, so like that. Could do with a few more of them bigger fish, but I think it's time to pick that little short line rig up again and just push my pole literally into the far bank. Oh, just moan one on then. But I think that's going to be my next port of call. Yeah, another little carp. Really hard to guess with my clicker as well. Definitely a few more this last 10 minutes. We just had a bit of, the wind just blew around that corner and definitely felt like some bigger fish were there for a second, but it's gone again now. So I'm going to pick pick my short line rig up at the same depth, because I think the depth's about right. Just hold that rig tight into that bank. Might improve things. We're doing all right. I've got £25. So keep it on at that rate. I'm going to have 130, £140, which it ain't going to be a million miles off. But like I say, behind me it does look a bit better. So they've got a lovely breeze there. But they might be catching small fish again. I don't know. It really is a case of going through the motions, I think, at the moment. Can't see them coming down the edge yet. Not the bigger fish, anyway. Maybe that's completely wrong. This is the problem. I put a short line rig on. They're really not keen on sitting right underneath that pole. I've just got that wind back again, so see, oh, that one's pulled the elastic out. That's what I want. Bit better fish again as well. Maybe that's going to be the answer now. There's a few there. So again, it's not a bigger fish. Little F1. It's like 8 ounce again. It's you've got to catch a lot of fish to put a weight of them in your net. And as I say, the problem is with these strict net limits as well. Yeah, absolute nightmare clicking fish that size. See, I'm not going to put him on the clicker, but the next one I'll have to. I'm going to have to leave my nets quite light. Just allow for it, I hope. Really difficult to try and judge, but just want a few of those bigger carp to move in, or F1s. See, even with a nice tight line, you're missing indications. You just don't get as many of them. Certainly challenging. Great little venue, lots of bites. Literally got my pole tip pushed into the mud, the black netting across now. Just hopefully waiting for my elastic to rip out. But see, that one's pulled the elastic out again. Even though they're no bigger. They're no bigger, but if you can get them to pull your elastic like that and they will come under a shorter line, at least it's a bit easier to put a weight together, because I was missing a lot of bites. Don't mind missing them if an odd one when they're big fish, but when they're little ones it all needs to be very smooth and everything ends up in the net. So there's one gob in there again now. And they're slightly better fish. Come on, take me bait. No. Just lost that one there. I'm just going to feed my other lines now actually. So I've got 3/4 of a big pot of casters and top the rest of the pot up with hemp. Just dump that in. Same again, like 12 metres. I don't see the point in going any further. That puts me in the middle of the bowl. I'm going to put that out along to me in line with that platform leg. After that it shallows up really shallow in that far corner, so I don't really want to be bothering that. And down the edge I'm just going to fish corn and mite, because again I'm going to put a bit there to start, because there's a lot of mouths in here obviously. That's very clear to see. It's quite shallow down there. It's only 20 inches deep down that edge, so if any bigger carp do come down there, I should see them. That's the plan anyway. A minute. So I was told the edges are deep here, and I've got a lovely depth really, so it's an advantage I may have over others. I haven't gone round and looked at everyone's rigs, so that could all be a load of rubbish. But last couple of chucks, that's been better. I've had two pull the elastic out. I might say they're not big, but if you could just catch them efficiently like that, so that bit shorter line. I'm not slapping it, because you seem to miss lots of bites from the little fish. Just pushing it into the bank now. Still a few missed bites, but it's not as bad. Well, that one's pulled the pole under again. That's better. Tell you what, this is going to be some fishery when them carp grow a little bit, and it don't take them long. Just seeing a couple of carp gobbing around that behind me in that bay. I have got a little mugginy rig set up. Oh, but yeah, I can still see him. Maybe not quite got enough pole out, but just a bit too far away from it. They're beyond pole range, in all honesty. But it's not a bad sign. Just going to give that long pole a try though. They're better carp round there, so. I couldn't see that where I dumped that caster in with, just with the wind, but now it's dropped. There is definitely looks like there's some fizz in. Well, there's no look like about it. There's a lot of fizz in there, so I'm not going to mess around. Two worms. if I get a bite there, I want it to be a carp. Just going to go and sit on that. Just give it 5 minutes, see if anything's there. Might be that they've eaten all the bait already. But I just feel like I need somewhere to go and catch a bigger fish at the moment. Oh. Found one there, not what I was after, but there's definitely some better fish all of a sudden moving around this side in this bay. Just going to put one worm on actually. No signs down that edge yet, so it doesn't always mean they're not there though. A lot of fizz in there where I am now. Don't know if the camera will pick it up. And it is. That one's definitely a carp. Better, mate. Definitely a carp that might not be a carp after all that, but F1s again. I'd like to mug some of these. There's some big fish coming in there. So just a quick little update. There's a few big carps sat in that right in that corner. I've just tried waiting and mugging them, but they're not really coming out. I can't see them very well, but I know I could see they're there. Might just change this big cupping line to round right into that bay. There's a bit of scum and that blown in there from that brief bit of wind we had. Bit awkward to fish in there because it's literally right behind you. Another fish out there. No more of the better carp though. No F1s there now. Not big ones. Well, that one is a carp. Definitely got to be mindful of them. I need to have a plumb up of a rig down that edge soon. I wanted to fish this other way, but if I can tempt a few of them little milling carp around down that edge, could be game on. Still not forgetting to feed that main line. What's this? Big F1, this line has been far better. Right, that's £35 I've clicked in that net, so I'm going to move on to another net. So I have no idea what it is. The size of these fish are so difficult to clip. I'm just going to have a replumb up, like long down that in that bay. We had that little bit of wind for a few minutes, and it has blown some ripple, and I've seen blown some scum. It's flat there again now, but there is an odd carp moving in there, and they're decent fish as well. So. Yeah, it's really deep. Might have to use my worm rig down there as well. But I feel like I need a bit of bait there somewhere. There's a few too many carp for my liking coming in that corner now. So let's get this plumbed up. I might even just change the big potting down into that corner now. Yeah, it's only a few inches shallower than. Yeah, I've just gone to plumb down that corner, and it's, well, I know roughly what it was from before starting. It's only a float length shallower down in that corner than where I was just big potting out there. So, I'm going to sack that line off for now. That, like the open water one, even though it was good, I want to do it down in this corner somewhere. There's more carp moving around there. It feels a bit deep for the mic because like I was doing down the other edge. So big pot of casters and hemp. Probably do 50-50 this time. Just trying to eke out. I don't want to feed too many casters. I'll put some more micros and corn down that shallow edge. Keep priming that. Right. So I'm just going to have a look down here. I can't see it from here, but my cameraman's just come around and said like they're churning the bottom up on that bait I put down there. And they're almost edge fish there. This is why I've changed. I say now that we haven't got the wind on the water there, but it's blown a bit of scum, and there's definitely more carp appearing, and I've hooked one straight away there. It's just really awkward for shipping back behind me here. That actually isn't a carp, but another little stocky carp, but it was a quick bite. Just want a few better fish. This carp swirling down that corner. strange, I never fished it now again, that's good. But again, they're not really any bigger. This one might be actually. Oh, was a better fish. Just hooked under the wing and pulled out. But we're just 2 hours in, the peggy's definitely getting better. Really lashing 4 mils in on that island now. Loads of carp just milling around in this corner now. I'm gonna have to pick my little mugging rig up again. A lot of carp over by that island again now as well. They're everywhere now. They've just arrived out of nowhere. So what's happened is, well, there's a few fish just milling around in that corner now. Just picked up, I set a lighter mugging rig up, a long line rig. Just having a slap with it over the top of where I was fishing, because there's fish in that scum now. The wind's pushing into that side and certainly blowing some carp in there. They're not liking that pole slapping over their head though. There's quite a few there, so just giving it a quick go because they're better fish. They're so awkward. I don't know whether I should start catapulting some bait and fishing shallow down there. just going on the bottom and blowing all the bait up and swirling everywhere. A couple of minutes where there's loads of them there, and then they're gone. Just lifting that out, and I've got something on the end, but not what I was after. One of the bigger ones I was seeing. Just going to go back on the bottom because I can't see any again now. You sort of slap at a few and then they vanish. I'm really hammering bait, and there's a lot of fish moving over by that island now. The peg's just changing completely for the better. So got some ripple on my shallow water edge as well. It still doesn't feel, they're just milling around at the moment without getting their head down, them bigger fish, but I think I'll catch there later. Starting to put a few in the net, which is good. See, I go on the bottom and they start milling around shallow again. Just really want some of them to get their head down. Them bigger fish, the fish I'm catching there still ain't massive, but catching them quite quickly now, so it does seem like I'm about out of bait there now though. What's that? An hide. Might need to dump a bit more bait in, but I'll go straight on it this time. Two-hour update, yeah. Right, so we're 2 hours in now. And it was a bit of a struggle, and I felt I was a long way behind. Apparently they are catching really well down the bottom corner right behind me where the wind's blowing, but the peg's definitely coming to life. Caught a few of that big cup in it, not the big carp I was hoping for, but I had one decent carp and some F1s, and the wind, we've just got some ripple on the water now, and it's changed the peg completely. I've changed my big cupping line to the same rig. It's 6 inches shallower, right down in this corner, because there's a few fish carp milling around. Can't catch them. I've tried slapping a pellet about there, and they don't really want to know with that. But I'm catching smaller carp on the bottom there, nice and quickly. So I'm just giving that a top up. And, just going to fish that. I'm really lashing in 4 mils now on the island, and I can see a few more carp coming out there as well. Just trying to be a bit more positive as I'm getting a bit more of a feel for it. Getting more of a feel for what I can and can't feed, and you can definitely get away with putting a bit of bait in here. So that's what I'm doing, like 2 big pouches across and a big pot of hemp with a few casters in down that edge. I'm still going to feed that shallow edge later on in the day. Really think that's going to come good later on in the day when they do get their heads down, because it's nice and shallow. Not really caught any of the bigger carp I can see mooching around down there yet, but I'm sure they are going to get their head down. What I haven't actually tried is what I'm doing now, like going straight in on my feed, because I let it settle for a few minutes the first time. So hopefully, like, that big pot will take a couple of bigger carp down. They're certainly there now. Didn't really feel like there was many here earlier, but now that wind's blowing into that corner, there's some fish there. It's very awkward to fish, especially these smaller fish that ain't pulling a lot of elastic out, because I've got to almost pull them all the way back round in front of me before I ship back with how I'm sat here. But it's worth it. Every now and again there's just a load of, oh, that's a better fish. So that's work going in on me, straight on me. Oh no, it's come off. Possibly foul looked it actually. That's the better. It's just tangled my rig. I'm just trying to flick it out rather than ship all the way back, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Yeah, so I'm just going to get my head down. Of course, as they always do, they come out when you get your pole back to you. I'm just going to try and force these carp in this corner to feed, because they are obviously there. Flicked a pellet at a few and they don't really want to know. The only thing that's going through my head now is, do I ping a bit of bait to try and catch shallow down there? But I'm just going to go with this for half hour first. See, we're into another one there. A smaller fish, but they're smaller than the fish I can see, but the fish I can see I can't catch at the moment. Like, you'd think just flicking a pellet in them when they're mooching around in that scum, but they don't really want to know yet. So I'm just going to go through the motions, keep catching these. They're like a pound fish, so it's not the end of the world coming back with one of them every chuck at all. I think we're actually on target for the sort of weight we wanted. With a good finish of some bigger fish, if they get their head down in this shallower edge, I'm not unhappy. So we're just going to keep going, ticking over until something changes, and I'll be back with you. Hopefully we can just carry on as we are for now. But certainly, it seems to be going better now than it was earlier. So, which is all you can ask for. It's improving. So. Right, so we carried on catching down there. It started to catch smaller fish again, so I had a quick look shallow, caught a couple, but it was the same old problem. So I've just dropped in on my shallower edge, and this fish there straight away now. So I'm just gonna, well, hopefully carry on there for the rest of the day. I'm gonna, if it does go, I'm gonna replumb up my that deep edge and just bring it a lot closer now to make it easier. They're clearly coming in the edges. So just want to plunder them now. Much better fish. There's a lot of activity down that edge. Just got to be careful with this one. Yeah, I think it's just going to be an afternoon of fishing down the edges. Did have a go shallow, and this fish there, but again, they're not. There's lots of little F1s there and carp, little carp. I'm not going to win doing that, so just going to get stuck in down the edges. Can't see the point of doing anything else. So I think this one's foul up, but, and it is, but we got him in the net. So I've not seen anything come in, and I just thought I'd give it a try, and they've been on it straight away. So hopefully they just keep coming. So I think I'm going to just throw a bit of bait really short this side now. Somewhere I can just keep dropping in on if I need it, but they're coming in lovely here at the moment. Just a large toss pot full of micros. A bits of corn on the hook. There's indications there straight away again, so that's a really good sign now. Right, so we've got just over an hour to go. The edge went really funny. I was thinking that shallow edge would come good because there's loads coming in there, but a lot of F1s, and they're just blowing the feed everywhere, and there's loads of vegetation there. They just became hard to catch. I've replumbed up my, like where I was catching down in the corner, the deep. I've got the same short here. Fed some bait there and they've done the same, but because it's deeper I can fish shallow for them, and I'm just throwing half a dozen casts. There's hardly any bait. I'm just catching really shallow there. A bit of everything. Small carp, bigger carp, F1s, eyed. Absolutely like lovely fishing, and you can put a weight together really fast because it's not far away from you. And in all honesty, I'm motoring a bit now. Probably needed it an hour earlier, but fantastic fishing. Like I say, just literally feeding 10 casters, and most of the time I'm not even needing to feed again. Like the fish are just, they're honed into bait going in there now, so they keep coming back. And I could potentially just hopefully catch here the rest of the match now. I'm still going to feed my shallower edge. Might need it, but at the moment it's really good. I think it is too late. They've caught all day down that bottom end, but oh, there's another one. Look, if I can keep catching at this rate, I'm going to be somewhere thereabouts. Because it is quick. There's not many quicker ways of fishing. So just flicking a few casters in there now. Get them back for next time. Not massive, but well, I was told about some big fish in this lake, but I've not really seen any of them coming out. Certainly not up here where we are. Maybe there are some bigger ones down in that wind the other end, but if I can carry on with these for an hour at this pace, I'll be well happy. Amazing, there's a bit of everything there. You see some big carp coming in, but I've caught eyed and little F1s and everything there, but because I'm fishing so close now, it really doesn't matter. You're just really, it's really efficient now. Have a little spell where nothing comes in, but look, I wasn't even watching then, I was thinking about talking to you. Few casters down there, put one in the band and away you go again. So just it's just like you have a good run and then a slow run, and 1 minute is F1s. Can't see the carp coming in. And when you do see them, there's odd times where you see a couple of bigger ones coming in. They're the times you don't actually catch them. I'm catching them better when I can't see them. So they tell you what they want to do. But yeah, it's a really nice finish to the match, in all honesty. Nowhere, like everywhere I've fished, I've got a carp on again now, but everywhere I've fished, like you have a run of decent fish and then like, you seem to catch small ones, they move in. I don't think it helps with it being flat, calm and sunny, they're just spooking a bit the bigger fish, but it's certainly been an interesting day. One of the better fish I've had actually, this one. It's £5, that's probably the biggest fish in the day. Got one on the bottom, but again they're little F1s on the bottom and there's carp coming in above them, so I want to catch the carp really. It's a waste of time really, that is. What I'm going to do, we've got half hour or so left, I'm just going to fish that my shallow edge on the top kit, just prime that up, and I think that's the way to go. Just rotate between the two, let a few fish get their confidence back up, and then got the same there again now. It just really weird in that edge. The float dances around, but there's far too many small fish coming in. I think I'm just going to start throwing corn on it. Well, I am. Cut the micros out and just try and draw them in for a bit of noise, some bigger carp. That worked. Had one straight away. Much better fish as well. Well, that worked well. So I'm gonna cut the micros out now because they just seem to be bringing in lots of little fish. So just gonna go again, proper old school, and just throw corn on it, make a noise, something heavy, and just try and get the carp in like that. Micros seems all wrong today. It's what everyone told me to fish, but that's annoyed, but just coming off that for a couple of minutes, I've now got some carp down the other side again. So I think that is exactly what as I would already said what I was going to do. We got half hour to go now. I'm just going to throw corn down that edge, make some noise, and just build that over up and just rotate the two now. Nothing else seems really worth doing, so yeah, that's my oh, there's another big carp. That corn's working much better now. That's been absolutely brilliant, just throwing that corn down there. Cut the micros out and stop bringing the little fish in. Right, so we've got 10 minutes left. Last half hour, I've just put another net in again. It's slowed it down, but been really, really good. Sort of finally got it right. I think it took a while. Like everyone had told me with this edge to fish micros and corn. And it was just bringing in loads of small fish, and I needed somewhere to rotate when we cast this with my shallow line. So I came back on this top kit, tried to slow it down with micros, but wasn't any better. So I've just started throwing, cut the micros out completely and started throwing handfuls of corn, and instantly it was better. Just seems to it's not dragged the little fish in. Caught all good carp when I have caught there, and it gives me a chance to feed my rest my other line. And I've just rotated the two, and I've had a brilliant end to the match, in all honesty. So it has just slowed up just because I've gone and got another net, and they don't like that because I'm fishing really close to me. But there's one there now, just had a liner, but yeah, it's just cut out the silly bites. They're all proper berries now, fishing double corn, just throwing handfuls of corn around it, just making noise instead of like attraction from the micros. It just seemed to drag the little fish in, and they're blowing it up the bank, and just not right, basically. Look, better fish. They're all much better fish. This is one of the smaller ones I've had there. We've had a proper old school days fishing, feeding hempen casters and throwing corn down the edge. I've loved every minute of it. So if I could come back, I would have definitely caught a few more. We always say that, but especially with a new venue, certainly got a few bits wrong early on. But really, I've had a fantastic day's fishing. Hopefully done enough. I'd like to think I have. I've got 7 nets in now. This second half of the match has been superb. So I can't see where anyone would have beat that, in all honesty, from what I could see. Well, I know I'm pretty sure they haven't. I don't think anyone's got more than 4 nets in. So yeah, I felt I was behind early on, but as I've sort of got to grips with the venue a little bit, got to grips with, well, just this peg. Maybe the other are different, but them micros were all wrong, and that's all everyone had told me about in the edges is micros. Just seemed to drag far too many small fish in. Maybe it is just time of day as well, but it was noticeable, like literally after the first couple of handfuls of corn that I started catching better carp. So I don't ever believe in coincidence. Things just being a coincidence in fishing. So. You can see that there's another one that's been brilliant down there later on. Getting a bit crowded with nets now, but I wasn't expecting this kind of day, so I didn't bring my bars, set my bars up. I've got the bars for the keep net arm like we do for these reasons, but I wasn't quite expecting this kind of a weight, I'll be honest. So really hard to say what I've actually got, because those small fish earlier on were a nightmare to click, but certainly had a great day's fishing. Right, so that's the end of the match. Had a fantastic day's fishing here. Really, what a venue. Going to get packed up quickly, get weighed in, and then we'll have a little chat about what we've done, how we've caught, the results, and what I do differently. That's always massive. There's certainly some things to improve on. So I'm going to get packed up now. Right, so the match has ended. I've weighed 175 pounds, which won the match. There was a 140 and then a 125, I think. It's fished really well. Most people have had 100 pound or very close to 100 pound, which is testament to the venue. It's been a really, really enjoyable day. Caught me out a little bit, if I'm honest. I was expecting a lot of F1 fishing from what people said, and an odd-eyed and odd different silvers, and then some bigger carp, and I've caught loads of stocky carp, like 12 ounce to 1.5 pounds. Started short and caught a couple of them there, and it didn't seem right, and I've pinged 4 mils over to the island. They were swirling there, and some bigger fish, but they were just ravenous, these little ones, and they couldn't get through to the bigger F1s. Just ticked over. Everyone was catching a few, Couldn't see any massive fish being caught anyway, so ticked over on them for a couple of hours. And then I've caught big potting, like I was suggested to do, and that was all right. Caught one better carp, and then it was small fish again. And there were clearly a lot of fish moving in the bay to my right, so I've replumbed that rig up and just done it like down, almost down the edge, like further away from myself. Again, lots of smaller fish, then had a run of 3 or 4 bigger ones. But wherever you fed, you seemed to catch lots of the little ones, and I was trying to find a way. There were clearly a lot of bigger carp about. Gone down some shallow water feeding micros and corn the other edge, and got absolutely blown to bits there. And it was starting to, it wasn't very efficient, which the lake seems to just be all about efficiency with these little carp. So I've replumbed up my deck rig where I'd fished like over big potting, just done it on a top kit and one. There's a few lilies there. Started to just throw a few casters, very little. I've only fed 2 pints all day, and that was much better. And I've caught some carp there, like better stamp 3 and 4 pounders. Then they got fed up with it being bright and still and moved off. My edge still wasn't good. I've come back on a top kit, just trying to make it better, and they were still blowing all the micros everywhere. Everyone had told me fish micros. So I've just gone proper old school. Just started throwing handfuls of corn there, double corn on the hook, and that was much better. I've just rotated those 2 lines, had a really good last hour and a half. Much better fish, just a few smaller ones mixed in, but much better fish. It was the time of day as well, I think. But wasted a bit of time just learning. The venues have gone so many bites, it was a bit like whatever you did you got bites, so you didn't know if you were doing it right or wrong at times, and everyone's been the same. There's so many fish in this lake, but sort of sussed that out to get the bigger ones as the day went on. Really happy with it. It's lovely to win, first time I've seen the place. Definitely want to come back again because the fishing's brilliant, and as those small carp grow a little bit, it's going to be a ridiculous venue. Really well kept, lovely people here, and I shall definitely be back. If you live in the Norwich area and you haven't been already, get down here really quick because it's amazing. So hopefully that's broke the duck after one bad live match. This is a good one now. We're on a roll. Look forward to the 3rd one, and with that I'll see you again soon.